great guest on Serious and Silliness Outcast. We got Gene Borrello. What's happening, Gene?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you
For,
doing?
good, good. I'm doing good, man. First of all, thank you for doing the interview with me. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my first question is, how many times do people ask you if you're related to Bobby Borrello?
100 times. Yeah.
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. Wrong borough and two generations before me, buddy. That's
Yeah. That wasn't my. Actually, we always thought it was, but it's not. We're not related to them. You know?
Oh, okay. I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm from originally
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my parents were from Red Hook, and he was from Red Hook.
Right.
And my father knew him very little because they were from the same neighborhood.
Right.
But so at this point, a lot of people know your background, but it's the first time you're on my channel. So
Right.
why don't we just start from the beginning? Where were you born, so on and so forth, your childhood, and how you got involved in organized
Right.
crime.
I was born in Brooklyn, Flatlands, 84th Street, Canarsie.
Oh, okay.
I kind of lived there till I was about 8 years old and moved over to Ozone Park, Howard Beach area. I was in Ozone Park at first, and went to Howard Beach.
Uh,
Um, Ozone Park was still prominently Italian, but it was kind of switching over. Howard Beach was still fully Italian. Nothing but that Italian, Irish,
yeah.
German, white, just Jewish, that whole thing. And as I was growing up at 10, 11 years old, I was getting into a lot of shit. I was getting kicked out of every school. Uh, you want to say I got kicked out of about three elementary schools, then junior high school. I was supposed to
Really?
stay back. Oh yeah, I was supposed to stay back in junior high school, but they just want me out the fucking school. So they
Yeah.
literally just put me into, graduated me. And then when I got to like 15, 16 years old, I dropped out of school and started really, dibbling, dabbling with crime,
Uh-huh.
and that's when I was more in the Howard Beach area.
Okay. Now, when growing up, did you have both parents? Did you have good parents, or was it like very
Yeah.
chaotic?
I had mom and dad till I was about 8 years old, and then they separated. But I had my mother and my stepfather most of my life. But I was just a bad kid. There was nothing I could really do about that.
Yeah.
It was
Did you?
nobody's fault.
Yeah. Right. 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 Were you guys well off, or were you very poor, or how did it work?
No, decent, regular,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
regular.
Just like
Yeah, yeah.
okay. So when you were about 14, 15, how did you get involved with organized crime? I know you had a troubled
I wasn't.
youth, but
I
then
wasn't involved with. Yeah, I wasn't involved. I was born around it. So my uncle was Fat Andy Ruggiano. He was a skipper in the Gambinos. My cousin was a maniac on my father's side with the Gambinos as well. I grew up with all the cousins. We were all related to each other, all that stuff. And I started selling drugs for Hootie at a young age, like 15, 16. He was an
mm,
associate of the Gambino family.
mm,
And then from there, I was best friends with a guy named Bobby G. Alonzo, and his uncle was Ronnie G. and Vinny Asaro. And that's ultimately how I was in that crime world. And then, like I said, 18 years old, I got locked up with a brick of coke, and then I came out, and then I was full fledged mob guy. Yeah,
okay. Were you ever made, or you basically were an associate?
yeah. I was associate on proposed to be a member at 27 years old.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. And how long
yeah.
did you do time for that coke deal?
18 months. My grandpa was my co-defendant. He took the weight, and then
Wow.
yeah, he did three to life, then turned to a 3 to 9. I came home at 19, turning 20 years old, and then that's it. I was worse, than before I left.
Yeah. So you were born into it, basically. You said
Right.
you had
Yeah,
family members, and basically they were like, this kid is, always in trouble. Might as well. Kind
yeah.
of like similar to the Andy Ruggiano story, where he's like, I want to work for
That's my
you.
cousin. Yeah, that's
Oh,
my
okay.
cousin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Andy was the father, and Anthony.
Anthony that's my cousin. Yeah, that's my
Oh, okay,
relation.
good,
Yeah.
good, good.
Hmm.
Yeah, I had him on. Great, great guy. It's almost like you almost talk to him and you go, really? Like you could tell he's, from New York and Italian and whatnot. But it's almost
Right.
like he's such a nice, down to earth guy that you're like, God, there's no way this guy was a fucking gangster. No, he was
Right.
fucking
Right.
he was.
That's what they think about me till it's too late.
I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Like the first few interviews I've seen of you, I'm like, yeah, this guy is a fucking gangster through and through.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying I'm friendly, but yeah, I was brutal too.
There
I
was
had
a
that side to me.
what's funny is like there's some guys that you could like, look at and you go, yeah, this guy
Right.
would not want to mess with that guy. So
You
it's
know,
like you go
Yeah,
ahead.
what my downfall was is when I picked up the gun. If I didn't play with the guns, I think I wouldn't have been as bad. But when I picked up that gun, that's what really changed me. I started playing
Well,
with pistols, and that was the downfall of my life.
so why don't you get into that? actually, but before we get right into guns, let's talk about, growing up in Howard Beach and what were you like a rough and tumble guy, always getting into fist fights and so on and so forth?
And
Or,
they're somewhat, but we were always in trouble. I was
yeah.
more of I was always skinny and scrawny, so I used weapons a lot. That was the
Mm,
problem. And then I got bigger when I got older. But
yeah, sure.
I picked up the gun. That was like I said, I was a weapons guy,
How
and then
old how old were you at that point?
16 years old, I was using weapons. You know
Yeah,
what I
okay.
mean? So we grow up fast over there. We're like grown, everybody's wearing Rolexes and BMWs and Benzes at 16, 17 years old over there. You know what I mean? Everybody's,
Yeah, I
you know
kind of
how it
grew
is
up.
over there.
What's
Yeah.
funny is I grew up somewhere similar. When I was about 14, I moved to Staten Island. And
Yeah.
Staten Island was basically Brooklyn with a pool in the yard, right?
Right.
And a very good friend of yours comes from Staten Island, Frankie Pasqua, I believe, right?
Pasqua. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
And so it was kind of the same thing, but I was the youngest, and it was all boys in my house. It was my mother and then my father, my two older brothers, and they all kept me away from that. They're all like,
Right.
all of them. And but I remember like it was yesterday. If we went out, I would be like a freshman in college or like working, several part-time jobs and have two quarters to rub together. And the guys that were
Right.
getting all the girls were like guys like you that fucking.
Right.
And I'm like, am I
Yeah.
doing something wrong here? And like,
Yeah. I know. That's the truth. I know. That's how it goes. They
you
like the
know,
bad guy, the money, the fast life. Yeah.
that's how it
That
goes.
bullshit. Yeah. Howard Beach is similar. Howard Beach, Staten Island, Bensonhurst, those neighborhoods are all the same.
Yeah, right, exactly. So why don't you get into a little bit of you said you got into weapons and you started getting violent. Why don't you get into a
Right.
little bit of that and how that was the downfall?
Yeah, so I started picking up guns and realized I was capable of using them because not everybody could use a gun, you know what I mean? So some people could just have them and flash them and not use them. The
Like a
thing is, when I
prop.
pulled them out, I fired them. Yeah, that was
Ah,
the problem. You know what I mean? So
okay.
I didn't just have them for show. You know what I mean? So when I pulled the gun
Yeah,
out, it was being used, and I didn't care if I hit you or not. I would know I was using it. You know what I mean? That's all
yeah.
I know. Pistol whip you, whatever I was doing with it, I was using it.
Right, right,
Knives,
right.
breast knuckles, same things. That was my thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that. I don't know if you ever watched the movie. There's a movie called 25th Hour with Ed Norton where he gets involved with the
Yeah,
Russian mafia. And
yeah,
there's a scene toward the end where he has a gun and he says, so you don't use it. This is like a prop for you, a toy. You just flash it.
right. You're just gonna
Remember?
flash it. We
Yeah,
had
yeah,
guys
yeah.
like that. You see, they knew when I had the gun, that thing came out, you better start running. You know what I mean? It was being fired, and that was the difference.
That was actually a good question. How did you treat the guys that were more? We used to refer to them as bubblegum gangsters, right? How
Right.
did, or wannabes, but how did you treat those guys? Because there was plenty of them. There was
Yeah,
a
I didn't
lot of
abuse
them.
them. They're good to have around you because you can milk them. You know what I mean? So we didn't abuse them. Those are the guys that'll give you anything they want, just say they're friends of you. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
So we would
yeah.
use that to our advantage. Some of them were cool, but they knew that part. As long as they didn't act like tough guys and stuff like that. But for the most part, you can milk them guys. You know what I mean?
Okay,
They got money. You know what I mean? They just, protection, stuff like that. Oh, I got an issue. I can't collect this. Help me. It's always something. And
okay.
that's where I come in.
When you talk about how they utilized you, because you said you were with Vinny Asaro and Ronnie G.
Ronnie G. Alonso, right? Yeah.
How did they utilize you? I mean, obviously you
Uh,
were a major
Me and his
player.
nephew, yeah, me and his nephew, we're basically doing a lot of collections, a lot of beatings, assaults, and guys didn't pay, and we were doing loan sharking ourselves, illegal sports betting,
Okay.
and we just got this. We didn't like say, oh, your position is you do the violence. We just inherited it because we were always doing it. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
So
Yeah.
they're like, all right, these guys like doing that, so just send them to go do it. You know what I'm saying? So it became like like when something needed to be handled, me and his nephew were doing it. Or later on when Bobby botched the hit on Chris, he got chased. It was just me and the guys that I brought around. So Ronnie would utilize me to collect his money, make sure everything came on time, and then I would get money at a point and get a half sheet from him. So that was, good. You make a lot of money like that. And then I
Okay.
had access to everything. You know what I mean? So it was great.
And what
And
what
they
years
used
were these?
our early 2000s. I started off like I started off technically with them in '03, but
Okay.
I officially was with them in like '04 when I came home, like the end of '04.
Okay.
And till '04, 2006. Then I went away, came home again, 2010. It was just ongoing, in and out. You know what I mean?
And
And
what made you basically say, all right, enough is enough. I'm not doing this anymore.
well, the last time they got me, they hit me on a state conspiracy, Florida conspiracy, and then I had a federal conspiracy coming down. I was getting nailed from every which way. They were investigate me, and like I says, in my era, I was too violent for that organized crime. So I was
Yeah.
I was too noticed. It wasn't back in the 80s and 90s, I was a dime a dozen. Now I'm just this
Right.
lunatic that's standing out in Howard Beach doing all this crazy shit. So all eyes are on me. A lot of guys are locked up. They know I'm doing all this wild shit. So I put a big bullseye on my back where they have my own task force on me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that was the ultimate, downfall, And they investigate me, my guys I was around for many years. So it was an ongoing investigation. There was a lot of guys wearing wires and stuff like that that we didn't even know about. And
Mhm.
long story short, I remember when the lawyer goes, I says, well, how bad is it? He goes, how bad is it? He goes, they had to wheel in my evidence. It was 15,000 pages of wiretaps, and I was
Wow.
2,200 of them. Yeah,
Wow.
so he says it's real bad. He goes, you're screwed. You're gonna get ping pong. You're gonna go from here to Florida. He goes, you're never gonna see the street again. If you do, you're gonna be a very old man.
Phew.
And I asked Ronnie to pay for my lawyer, and he was playing games with me. And then my little brother had a gun charge that I had sent him to go do something, and I had a cousin wearing a wire, and set my brother up with a gun. So I was, in bad spots. It was my back was really good to the wall. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Yeah.
And so what did you decide?
I decided that when I was going to do what I was going to do, I was going to make sure my brother didn't get no jail time.
Mhm.
And I was going to make sure that, well, they can't promise you nothing. So, and I was furious about what Ronnie was doing to me with the money when he asked me what happened to him. Just the way he outed me like that, like they got nervous and I stood up 19 months with no bail, on Rikers Island. And then I
Mhm.
finally caved in. And then, when I cooperated, they can't promise you nothing. And I had so much violence. I thought I was still going to do 10 years. I'm going to be honest with you. I
Mhm.
still thought I was going to, they asked for 10 years after cooperation probation. That's how bad it was. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, like I said, I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. I just knew my brother wasn't going to do a day in jail. And then I was going to have a second chance at life.
Okay. And what did you have to, what information or people did you have to give up?
You basically, when you profit, you have to tell them everything. So there's nothing you
Okay.
don't, everything. You can't leave nothing out. You'd be charged for it later on.
Right, right,
That's
right,
when you
right.
see guys on here talking about murder. If these guys didn't profit and stuff like that, you can't talk about bodies and all this shit. You know
Right,
what I
right,
mean? You
right,
get
right, right.
charged. You know what I mean? So it's, a lot of these guys are fake.
Yeah, there are a lot of fake guys. We'll get back to that, but there are a lot of fake guys, and
Why?
it blows me away how they wind up. A lot of these guys wind up on really big podcasts, and you go, "How did you slip through the cracks? Did nobody figure it out?"
Well,
Because
we do. Yeah,
yeah,
we did. You know what
obviously,
I'm saying?
yeah,
We know
you
right
know,
away. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Look at the girl on Get Gotti. She's saying
right,
she was a Gambino associate. We were laughing. Like, what are you talking about?
yeah. There were
Fucking
no,
what?
there's no, I don't know why.
Ramondi. This guy's even worse. These guys,
Oh,
you can't even put Gianni Russo. These guys are jerk offs.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. My highest viewed
Like straight
video
up.
is calling Ramondi out, calling a bullshitter. There we go. Got you
There
back.
you are. Yeah.
Yeah, my highest view video is on this channel is like a 5 minute video of calling out Anthony Ramundi saying he's full of shit.
He is full of shit. Everyone knows that. Come on, man.
It's
Said he killed the priest.
unbelievable.
Said he Pope or stupid shit. I'm like, yo, I told Vlad, I messaged. I said, why would you put this guy on your fucking show?
I know. When I first
Why would
saw
Vlad
that,
put this joke on? I says, why would you put this guy on? I says, what would you even do something like that for?
and what was his response?
Oh, they don't know. They're from fucking Idaho. They don't know what's real and what's
Yeah,
not. You know
right,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Like they don't know. We know. We're from the five families and stuff. We know what's real and what's not. You
Of
can't be
course.
talking about all this shit if you didn't fucking profit. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got no RICO case. What'd you do? How'd you profit on 40 murders and no one even heard of you?
Yeah, right.
What bodies? Who are these guys? I didn't even heard of. It don't even add up.
Yeah, there's a few guys that like seem either they're full of shit or they really just kind of like wannabes or bubblegum gangsters. And then there are guys that you'll kind of look at and like I guess maybe like you said, like growing up around it, even though I was never involved or anything, I kind of grew up around it, obviously. And you could kind of pick them up. Like when I first saw you, I was like, oh yeah. When I first saw John A. Light, I was like, oh yeah, no.
Yeah, but you
Oh,
could tell. You could tell when
yeah.
he talked who's real and who's not, and who's really
even
bullshitting. You know?
even Larry Mazza, who's turned into a really good friend of mine, even though as
Yeah,
nice he
he's
is and
legit.
helpful.
Yo, he was fun
Yeah.
working with the Grim Reaper.
Oh,
Absolutely, bro. In that
yeah.
crew, you got to kill people. You kidding me? Fucking guy
Yeah,
would kill
right.
you for sneezing wrong.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah, absolutely. And now I hear
Yeah.
Greg Scarpa Jr. is out and he's doing podcasts as well. He's another one, and and then you get guys that like Anthony, and we'll get into some other guys when I start asking names, talking about names. That you just go, these guys are just full of shit. It's just
Full
unbelievable,
of
man.
shit. Full
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
So you basically give them all the information. You get out after how much time?
63 months on that one.
Okay, and you got
And
out
then
after
then I
60.
went back and then I went back in on 3 violations.
Okay, but yeah, that was basically your wild character. That wasn't you weren't.
Right.
involved with
Just being
or
bad. I kept going back in and out. Yeah,
right, right.
violations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little bit different. Yeah, okay. And here's another thing, that question I get from other people that don't know. You moved right back to the same neighborhood when you got out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was right
Yeah.
back there.
It's not like it used to be where the witness protection program and they're gonna get you
Come
if
on,
you
winning that
snitch.
shit. I was the bad
Yeah.
guy. Yeah. What the fuck you send it to me? That shit was so washed up. I'm like, who are you
Yeah.
gonna send? Guy's never been in a fist fight. You fucking bother me. I'll shoot people in broad daylight. Like, come on, we're not the same, bro. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? I was
yeah,
like the worst guy. Like, who you gonna send? The whole crew is all washed up. Like, the
yeah.
'80s, I'd be dead. '90s, of course, they have a whole hit squad looking for you.
Right.
Now they got
Yeah.
guys ready to shoot a water gun at you. These guys never even held a gun. Go
Yeah.
kill them. You know what I'm saying? It's not
It,
happening. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
People don't realize that it is not what it was. It is very.
No.
A lot of these guys are legitimate business guys, and maybe they have like a numbers, not numbers, but maybe they have bookmaking or sports
They ain't
betting.
doing shit, bro. Ain't nothing
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So the life is dead, and you see a lot of these guys coming out trying to make money and doing well for themselves.
Right.
Well, actually, you know what? um, before we get into, I have a list of names that I'm going to ask you about, and
Yeah. Good.
but before we get into that, I just want to, if you could tell me a couple of stories, or maybe one significant story where it was really rough in the street. Like, for example, was there like a guy that was similar to you, but you guys didn't get along, like as
Yeah.
rough and tough, and you
Well,
kind of always
well,
had it out?
there was a few of them, but I mean, my best friend turned to enemy Chris Cagnato. That was the
Okay,
worst guy. That was like the worst guy around. You know,
okay. So talk
he
about
was
that.
brutal. Oh, I got sent to kill him. I got sent to shoot him and kill him. It was a whole war. He shot my house up, blowing cars up. We were at war, all of us against him.
Jesus
Called the
Christ! Now,
blood.
who is Chris Cagnato now?
He was one of the wildest, craziest kids around. Howard Beach lunatic, and he robbed Ronnie's main earner, Pudgy, tied him up in his house, and then I got sent to shoot him. I shot him in broad daylight. His girlfriend hit me with a car, and then 3 months later, he shot my house with a machine gun, and we kept going back and forth, all of us against him, his guys. It was just a war zone.
Jesus
2006,
Christ! And
fucking war zone.
what is he doing
Bullets
now, Chris
flying
Cagnato?
everywhere.
That's
Uh,
unbelievable.
yeah, all through Howard Beach, bullets flying everywhere. Guns were going off in Howard Beach, and then we were going after his stash spots. We were having shootouts with his rival, with his drug dealer friends. It was getting crazy, blowing his cars up, set his girlfriend's car on fire, because he was hiding. Then the other incidents, he shot at us again, and we grabbed his friend, beat him with a pipe. It was just kept going back and forth. You know what I mean? It was just crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I remember as a kid, the war with we discussed Larry Mazza and the repo. I remember as a kid, that happening in Brooklyn and Staten Island and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah, in 2006, you was like, it was almost unheard of. But was Chris
Right.
Cagnato with another crew, or he was just a wild man?
He could have been. I mean, Charles Caniglia dated his aunt. He always had resentment because Uncle Vin had his aunt shot, almost killed because she cracked a bottle over Vinny's daughter's head, and they sent Ronnie and Jerry to kill her. They shot her up in a bar stool in
Wow,
the
really?
'90s, in a bathroom stall. And then he always had resentment. That's his mom's sister. But Charles was on his side.
Now, when
But
you say
then
Vinny, you're talking Vinny Asaro?
Vinny and Sarah, yeah, ordered her death for cracking a bottle over his daughter's face. Yeah.
Wow. And who is Charles?
Charles Caniglia, that's Gotti's hitman, the one that killed everybody for Gotti, put the guy in the wheel, acid
Ah,
barrel and all that
okay,
stuff.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. I
he's a
get it now.
maniac. His brother was John Caniglia, one to kill Paul Castellano, one of the shooters. Yeah,
Ah, I see. Okay, okay. All
yeah,
right. All right,
yeah,
so I'm gonna read off some names. Some of them are dead. Some of them you may know. If you want to talk about them,
right,
please do. If you don't, you just say pass. If you don't know who
right,
they are, just say pass. And then we'll talk about your future and your podcast. And you have a book
right,
series coming up and a movie
yeah,
or whatnot.
yeah,
All right, so um, so we're gonna get okay. So the first one, I'm just gonna say John Gotti. Obviously, everybody would love to know your opinion on that, on him.
Senior, yeah, yeah. He was
Yeah,
he was
senior.
legit. He was legit to the core. I was saying this on the show. Not that I was like him, but I remind myself because he would protect his friends and did anything he could to make sure his friends didn't get killed. He was a ballsy guy. He didn't give a fuck. He had that no give a fuck attitude like I did as well. He was a gangster, man. That's all he can say. I don't care about him breaking the rules. He did it to save his friends. They were gonna
Right.
kill all him and all his friends. So I got respect for him as far as him being a gangster. He was a gangster. You can't take nothing from him. That's
Yeah.
it.
No. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Now, John Gotti Jr.
So he put work in too, but to me he was just born into it. I don't even think he wanted that life. I think it was more like put on his lap. I think honestly, I do believe that. He's a cooperator as well. I mean, people don't want to hear that, but he profit. He goes on shows and things, and broke all the La Cosa Nostra rules, and he definitely was known as a tough guy, but I don't know if he really was because it's very easy to be tough when you have 500 people behind you and your dad was one of the
Yeah.
most powerful guys in the country. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
right.
saying? So I don't really know his true character, but I know his grandsons were punks except for one. The Gotti's grandsons were all punks except for the one that worked for me, little
Okay.
Gotti, third. He was one of mine. He was real bad. Um, so as far as John Jr., I don't know his true identity, but I know that I don't know what he really could have been without them. You know, you never know. You know?
So when you talk about his the grandchildren, you
Yeah.
talking about the ones that were on that show, Get Got,
They're
whatever it
punks.
was.
Yeah, they're calm. But those are Carmine Bull's kids. He was a serious guy, the father. But
Yeah.
the kids were punks, and the Frankie Albano was Angel Gotti's son. I grew up with him forever. He's a punk.
Mhm.
So they was all like punks except for the one that worked for me. That was John Gotti the third.
Ah, okay. Whatever happened to him? Is he the guy who's fighting now
He's
or no?
home now. He's home now. No, that's not the
Uh,
fighter. That's John Jr.'s son, the fighter. My co-defendant was Peter Gotti's son. That was Peter's youngest.
ah,
That was John's
okay.
youngest son, who was the worst Gotti out of all of them.
Really, really?
Most brutal. Was
Wow.
Peter.
Okay,
That was
that's
John's
unbelievable.
youngest son.
And how old is he now? Is he around your age?
53. No, but Peter is about 50 something. Yeah, his son's about 30 now. Yeah.
Okay, that's the one I was talking about. His son, the
Yeah,
one you were
his son
talking
was with me. Yeah, yeah.
about. Okay, all right, all right. I know what you're gonna say here, but Anthony Ruggiano Jr.
Yeah, he's my cousin. He was legit. Definitely grew up in the heyday. He'll always tell you he wasn't really a violent guy. You know, he had his party life. He was Fat Andy's son, so unfortunately he had to kill his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the way that goes. But yeah, he was definitely legit. Hung around with everybody, knew everybody, and definitely I looked up to him when I was a kid.
As his cousin, did he look out for you? Did he try to keep you out of trouble or
Well,
anything
he
like
was
that?
away most of our lives. He was always in jail.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Anthony was
yeah.
always in
Sure.
jail. Anthony did like 18 years. Anthony was always in prison.
Was there
Yeah.
was there a family member that tried to keep you on the straight and narrow and it just didn't work?
Yeah, not a guy. It didn't work. They knew
Yeah,
what I was going to be. Yeah.
yeah, that was it. It was just written in stone. All right, John Elite.
Oh yeah, it's my fucking road dog. You just missed him. He was just here with me. We are just filming.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, we were just filming for our show. Yeah, it's like my fucking uncle right there, man. We were super tight.
Did you
And
know him back in the day on
I met him a few times when I was a kid, and but he was always his reputation was always brutal and wild. It comes from my mom and all my family members, and everyone knew him.
yeah.
He's a fucking raving lunatic through the area, and like I says, that's one of my closest friends.
What podcast you guys have together?
We rebooted the Johnny and Gene show.
Okay. All right.
It's
Johnny and
back in
Gene.
action.
I got to put
Yeah,
the link up on, not that anybody doesn't know it, but
right.
everybody knows, but I'll put the link in anyway. Yeah, actually, I was on his podcast when he was with Michael, who was the crooked cop. I can't remember his name.
I know Mike Dowd. I remember.
Mike Dowd.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah. What's funny is that legitimate tough guys, when they get older, they tend to be like the nicest guys in the world,
It's always like that
because I guess they got nothing
because
to
it's all the
prove.
bad that nah. It's all the bad we did. We start thinking that's what happens with me.
Ah,
You know,
okay.
that's
I
that.
see.
Sorry about that. My fucking
That's all
thing.
right.
People keep my phone don't stop, bro. Yeah, it
Yeah.
don't stop, bro. I swear to you. Yeah,
Yeah, because I went, and they basically said I had a friend, Jesus Christ, I can't remember his name. He's gonna kill me. Matt, Matt Granahan, and he and
yeah,
he talked to John and Mike, and they said, if he could come down, can he go on your show? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And I
yeah,
went down there, they let me on the show, and it was really great because I had just started and they were able to help me and whatnot. And then we went to dinner afterwards, and
yeah,
John didn't got everything for free and so on and so forth.
yeah.
It was just
Absolutely.
it was just
Yeah,
a really good, you could tell he's an old school kind of guy that just has that street mentality, but at the same time, he's a
right.
gentleman.
Yeah,
All right. Hootie Russo.
yeah. I know Hootie my whole life. I was very, very close to him still to this day. Hootie was a
Mm-hmm.
big drug dealer. Hootie was around Al Trujillo, Ronnie One Arm for his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
He made lots of money. Got screwed over. Al screwed him over. Supposed to make him, fucked him over, chased him out. Got
Mm-hmm.
jealousy bullshit, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still close to him to this day. He's a good guy. I started my criminal career with him.
Wow. Okay.
I was a
He's
kid.
he's actually become a friend of mine. He's been on several times. We keep in touch. He's been on
Yeah.
three or four
Hmm.
times. I mean, anytime I ask him, he comes on, no problem. He's
Yeah, absolutely.
really
Yeah,
good dude, man. Really good dude.
yeah. He
All
knows
right.
his shit too.
He does. He really does.
Yeah.
Uh, All right, Sammy Gravano.
Yeah, Sammy was a serious guy. My opinion. Everyone has their own opinions, but at the end of the day, he was the underboss of the most powerful crime syndicate in America. I'm saying, and
Yeah,
well, 19, he was a part of 19 murders. So, I mean, you can't take that from him. He's part of history.
yeah,
That's
right.
just what it is. I tell people that all the time. It don't matter what you say. The guy was killed Paul Castellano,
Yeah, yeah,
and they
yeah,
took
right,
the
right.
family. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like almost.
What was your opinion of, because I get mixed opinions. What was your opinion of when he turned state's evidence? Because according to him, and I'm pretty sure it's valid, is that Gotti was ready to turn him in, and because he wanted to be on the street. And he's like, you got to
Well,
take the
not turn
rap
him
for
in.
me.
Yeah, he was telling him to take the rap, which is possible. He said that, but you'll never really know the truth or anything like that. But at the end of the day, you don't know who's gonna do what when you're facing a million years. I know the toughest guys in the world that kill you in broad daylight and can't do 5 years. You know what I mean? So you don't know.
Yeah, right, right,
You know what
right,
I mean?
right. Michael Frances.
Michael Francis, yeah, at first I didn't get along with him. Now we do. I'm supposed to go on with his show on the 19th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're good now. And yeah, obviously he was a big money maker,
Yeah.
nonviolent guy, but he made a lot of money and millions and millions, probably one of the biggest earners ever in organized crime. And I get along. He's a really good guy, actually, to be honest with you.
He's one of those guys that no matter where you put him, no matter where he is,
He'll
um,
succeed.
exactly. Yeah, right.
100%.
Exactly. If he didn't,
1000%.
yeah, if he wasn't, the son of, I forgot his father's first name,
Sonny,
Sonny Franchise, he probably would be some CEO of some major corporation, something like that.
100%. Yeah. hmm
All right, Larry Mazza.
Yeah, me and Larry, good buddies. I just did a show with him. Larry was a part of, one of the most treacherous guys in mafia history, to be a part of the Grim Reaper and, experience working with that guy. I would be nervous every day meeting up with that guy anyway.
It's a crazy story, right? How he met him with his wife and
Yeah,
everything. I'm
yeah,
like,
that's wild. Yeah, that
oh,
is crazy. That is
it's
insane. Me and Larry
yeah.
are buddies. Yeah, I get along with him very
Larry's
well.
a great guy. I mean, what's funny is that, like, I'm a nobody. I'm a regular blue collar worker that just started a podcast. And what's funny is the people that go out of their way for me are the federally convicted. Like,
Always.
it's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah,
Larry, John, I had a couple of other biker guys that like go out of
yeah,
their way for me and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, Frankie Pasqua.
Yeah, it's one of my closest friends. Me and him did a lot of work together. He was a legit fucking nut. His downfall was he did dabble with drugs, but his dad was his real downfall. Him and his father didn't get along, and they were always in competition and stuff like that. And Frankie was still nuts and wild, and the dad didn't want to be like that. So it was like he basically cooperated out of just being mad. That's really what he did it as, just like hated him, you know.
Yeah, the Vlad TV interview was when he said that. That was when he first heard his
Frankie was
father on the
really
tapes.
brutal. Yeah, Frankie was really brutal.
Well,
Really
get
brutal
into that a
guy.
little bit. Get into him a little bit. How do you know? Did you know him before prison, or you met him in prison?
No, we met in prison. Obviously, everybody knew his dad from owning all the strip clubs in the city, but we met in the city. We met in prison, and he was hands on with everybody. He was a real big guy and just vicious dude, and took shit from he didn't take shit from nobody.
Yeah. Can you get into maybe some of the prison stories? Because on your
Yeah,
TikTok,
yeah.
um,
Me and him had cut a guy again and beat a guy up. Sal Giolando. We did my friend Al Trucchio a favor. He was talking bad about all the Gambino guys, and I checked up on him, and they found out he was no good. So Frankie's like, "Yeah, we're getting him out of here." So
yeah,
Frankie made a can top razor, and then Frankie's like, "I'm gonna cut him." I said, "All right." We got him on the walkway. We got him outside, walked with him, talked with him. All of a sudden, I hit him, and then Frankie cut his face. We cracked him a few times, and got out of there. We were young. I was young. I was like 23. Frankie was probably like 27.
wow,
And yeah, and that was it. Me and him were just bad together. He ended up doing a year in the hole for that.
really?
Yeah, and lost a year good time. Yeah,
Wow.
and went to Wendy and he got cut in a fight. Yeah,
Say that again.
he went to Wendy, a maximum security, and then somebody snuck him.
Really?
Yeah, over something else. He was crazy. People were scared of him. He was very intimidating.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, very intimidating guy. He was
and
curling. He was curling 240 pounds
so that's
in the yard. Yeah, he was curling. He was
that's
curling 240,
insane.
250 in the yard. It was crazy. I couldn't see anything like it. I couldn't even bench it at the time. He's curling it.
Yeah, right. That's
Yeah.
fucking insane.
He was
Um,
squatting 600. Yeah.
wow, really?
Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
monster. A monster.
He's back in prison, right?
Yeah, with his wife, something with his wife.
Oh, is that what it was? Or was it
Yeah, they gave
drug
him
related
six
or no?
years. No, no, something with his wife.
Maybe when he gets
Chicago's.
out, I could probably get him on because
Oh, 100%. I still he calls me to this day. I talk to
oh
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he's from Staten Island, and so when I moved to Staten Island, the big name in Staten Island. Actually, I'll get to him. Actually,
TG
exactly.
Graciano.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the names, but he was
Yeah.
the big. He was like the boss on the island. It was.
I met him with Vin before.
You know what's funny? We'll get back. What's funny is that in New York City now, it's so funny. It's like the cops can't do shit anymore, right?
Right.
Something happens to you, the cops. It's basically you saw that the cops that got the shit kicked out of them
Yeah. It's a
by
joke.
the migrants. It's unbelievable. And then you don't have guys like that to go to for help anymore.
No, you don't.
So what do you do if you don't take matters into your own hands? You're screwed.
Absolutely.
What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I believe that the cops should have shot them and
Yeah,
killed them all.
yeah, really.
I'll be
I mean,
honest with you.
it's just like I
That's my opinion. I don't see how that they've got away with that. I think it's disgusting what's going on.
yeah, it's
You
absolutely
know,
unbelievable.
I think the cops should have shot the shit out of them, and
You know,
it's
and
justified.
20 years ago they probably would have,
A
but
100%.
that's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Anthony Arliato, Arliata, I think I'm pronouncing it.
Aralata. Yeah,
Yeah,
we were locked up. Me and Anthony were locked up together. Anthony's a cool guy. I was very close with Anthony. He was making a lot of money. He was killing. They were killing a lot of shit too, and they were a brutal crew out of the Massachusetts area for the New York Genovese fraction. You know,
really? Okay.
real serious guy, big
Re-
money, and yeah, he had a mean crew. His guys is the one that killed Whitey Bulger.
Really?
The guy that worked for him, that did all his work for him, was the one that killed Whitey Bulger in jail.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Freddie
Wow.
Geese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
That was his guys.
What was Anthony's major money maker?
He owned nightclubs, Shylock, and everything. He
Oh,
had like
okay.
one of the hottest nightclubs in Connecticut.
Oh, in Connecticut. Okay.
Yeah, he had it all over. He had shit all
Do
over.
you remember the name of the nightclub?
No, mm-mm.
Oh, all right. Let's see. John Panisi.
He's a clown.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
all right.
yeah. He's a joke.
Can you get into
He's
that
a
a little bit?
liar. Yeah, he
All
says
right.
he was at Howard Beach. We never even seen this guy. Stupid stories. He says his dead grandma made him cooperate. He's a fucking asshole. I never seen anything like that in my life. He's total buffoon, should I say? Um, First thing he said, he got into a beef with Ronnie, my old captain. Ronnie would drag him down the street and give him a wedgie. You know what I'm saying? He's like, guy cooperated because he said his dead grandma told him to do it. Like, who even talks these stupid shit? He sounds like a moron. And he reminds me of Mr. Rogers, like a boring ass fucking just dude. I
Yeah,
can't stand him.
he's one of the guys that I kind of looked at and I'm like, I tried to get him on the show and they kind of were giving me the runaround, asking me who I've had on the show and on my show.
He's a
And
fucking nothing. Who cares about that guy? Ain't waste your time. There's nothing
and
to talk
I
about. He talk about Tall John. They punched the guy in the face. He's like stupid stories.
so
I know,
I
and it's like it's stupid as shit. Like his big assault case. Like get out of here, bro. We're doing that fucking once a week. you know,
yeah. Yeah, no,
his big assault. Oh, they
yeah.
punched the guy. Oh my god,
Yeah,
dangerous.
exactly. He was one of the guys that I was like, I don't know about this guy. But what was funny is
Yeah,
that when I was trying to get him on, he was, I don't know who there was these girls that were working for him and they were trying to they were like, give me how many subscribers you have, how many this and who have you had on and
get the
so on and so
fuck
forth.
out of here.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
was like, and we'll get back
he's
to you. And
nothing
then,
in that industry. He's nothing. He's
yeah, it's
garbage.
unbelievable. All right. Joey Merlino.
Yeah, these are listen, he was definitely the boss of Philly and all of that, but like I said, it's about with me, I don't care that he's the boss of Philly. To me that was like a fucking corner store gang. They were a small little crew, you know what I'm saying? They weren't really like the five families and they worked for the five families and we always look down upon the Philly mob, and um for him to come on YouTube and state that he's not a rat, I mean, it sounds ridiculous. You're on YouTube, you're saying stories, you're an active gangster, and you're on the internet. Like, what do you think people are going to say? You think
Right,
people
right, right.
recognize you anymore? You're going to say you're going to come at all of these guys, and no one's saying nothing but me. I'm the only one that comes at him, and he hates it. I don't stop. I
Yeah.
go after him. I
Yeah, I've
don't
seen.
stop, bro. I think he's a
Yeah.
jerk off. I just think that he's like breaking, like he's saying he's a stand up guy, but he's not because you're on the internet. So how are you a stand up guy? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Makes no sense.
That's what a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people don't understand is New York was always kind of like
A motherland.
Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia, South Jersey, or even North Jersey, Buffalo. They were all basically controlled by the five
New
families.
York,
Only one
branch
fa-
offs. Then yeah, they have
Yeah.
branch offs. You put one captain over there, it's like 10 guys. You know what I'm saying? It's not us. You know, it's like
Yeah.
stupid. Yeah, and these guys don't understand that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Let's see. Next guy, Little Snuff. I think that's his partner, right?
Yeah, I don't even count him as a person. I don't know. I mean, it's just like I don't consider him anything but a used car salesman. If I ever seen him, I'll just yell, he'll run. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even waste my time. A
All
guy
right.
like that is just he's just a joke. You know, there's nothing to talk about.
Okay. There was one guy I was trying to think of that I asked you. You were talking
Ramondi,
about. No, no, no. We got him. There was a guy, Canossi, somebody Canossi that
Jeff
you.
Canossi, yeah,
Okay.
I abuse him. It's not even his name. His name's Jeff Loman.
So what is he all about? Because you kind of went off on him.
He's from Virginia. He's like a total fraud. First, he was cool with Johnny A. Then Johnny A. put him in a home, and he messed up somewhere with the home with the girl. He did like something like sexual, something like that, and the girl like called the cops on him. And it was a whole thing. Then he started hating Johnny, tried to go with John Jr. and them. He's just like a groupie and just jumps from crew to crew. And Philly, Joey Miller don't even know who he is. He just like says he's friends with Philadelphia guys. I got word from Philly that he literally sits in bars by himself and just watches people. The weirdest
Really?
shit.
So he's a
Yeah,
weirdo.
like a weirdo. Yeah,
All right. All right. So Ronnie G, you can get into him a little bit.
yeah. Ronnie was a serious dude. Ronnie was tough with his hands. He was Vinny Sauer's nephew, Jerry Sauer's cousin. I worked directly for him. I was super tight with him. I did a lot of violence to work for him, collected all his money. Very serious guy, very greedy. Very serious about his money. Loved his family though, very family man guy, and but just a serious guy all around. You weren't beating him on a quarter. You know what I
Mm,
mean? That's just the way he was. He was hands on. He was brutal. He'll hop out the car with you. I can't knock him on that. And he took his time. He got 14 years, paid back one of the biggest forfeitures ever in Banana history.
mm.
And it is what it is. Things happen. I was his right hand man at one time, and things change. Not no more.
Didn't he build this huge mansion of a home in Howard Beach
3.2
somewhere?
million, $3.2 million house in the corner. Yeah,
Isn't that kind of like a reverse of what
insane.
you should do?
It's,
Yeah.
it's just insane what he did. Yeah, it was almost insane when that thing was built.
Yeah. Shouldn't you like usually have a low key?
Not him. He had the biggest house. He
Yeah,
had the
no.
biggest house in Howard Beach. Yeah.
All right. And Vinny Asaro. Give me a little bit
Yeah.
of his history because I don't know much about him.
Oof. I mean, it goes back to the 50s, man. His dad, he was third generation Vinny. His father and his grandfather were all gangsters. His uncle was a captain in the Banos as well. Serious, dangerous guy, man. He was partners with Jimmy Burke, the infamous Goodfellas,
Mm,
guy. That was his best
yeah.
friend. Murdered a lot of people. Just a serious, vicious guy. And serious 1970s, one of the most powerful captains. He's very respected and feared by everybody. And he's dead now, but did the
Yeah, yeah.
Lufthansa, beat the trial. He's very, very serious. I learned a lot from him. He taught me a lot for many years. And he actually wanted to make me. That was the one that
Yeah.
wanted me in. Yeah.
How far up in the ranks what was he?
He was actually at one time running the family with Tommy DeFeri in 2011.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Hmm.
okay. And when you say family, you say the Banana family.
Yeah. Hmm.
What made you go with them? Because it's your cousin and uncle
Right.
were Andy and Anthony Ruggiero.
I say
Anthony.
this. I say this story a lot. What happened was we had beef with this kid, Phil Galena. I say it a lot, and he had tried to get me killed, me and my friend Chris, and he shot into the car, shot my friend to the neck, shot my other friend, and I knew it was him. And I went to them, Al and them, Gambinos. I said, "Yo, I'm gonna kill this kid," and they're like, "No, no, his dad's a wise guy. He got deported. His father to Italy, Pizza Connection." And they
Mhm.
wouldn't let me get him. So I went to the Banos and I riding them because I was half half. I didn't know what I was gonna do because Bobby was my best friend, but all my friends
Mm.
are all the Gambinos. So I told them, and he says, "Yeah, go ahead, go. We
Yeah,
got your back."
so they were a little bit more street thuggish.
Yeah, they were. Oh, they were very.
Okay,
That's why
all
it
right.
was more my fit.
Yeah, right. Mikey Scars.
I really don't know much about him. I'll be
Okay,
honest with you. I don't. I just knew what his role was, but I don't know much about him. I don't.
okay, no problem. Peter Pan Tuccio.
He worked for me. He was under me. I had him
Really?
doing things. He had balls, but he was just like he was a wannabe. But he actually got chased to the Philly mob, and that shows you how bad, things could get. But he had a bad mouth on him. My crew beat him up for disrespecting Mike and someone else. And he worked for me though. I liked him at the time, He was trying to get in any way he could. And ultimately he screwed himself by taking pictures with Jerry Molino and putting them on the internet. And they just thought he knew more than, they thought maybe he could get this kid to flip. So when they got charges on him,
Mhm.
they went hard on him. You know what I mean? And gave him a lot of time for like bullshit.
How much time did he get?
Got 10 years for an arson, bro.
Awesome.
He set a car on fire. They gave him 10
Did,
years.
did he really? Is he still in prison?
Yes. Yeah, he just only 2 years he's been in.
Oh wow! What the hell did he set a car on fire for?
For some guy, but it was stupid. Like it was just like you should have not got. He should have got like 3 years, bro.
Okay, all right.
Gave him 10 years.
Yeah, it's so I don't know. It's fucking strange. I don't. I have. There's no rhyme or reason to this.
Right.
This system. Guys beat up cops, they get let go. Guy burns a car and he gets 10 years. Hector Pagan.
Yeah, Hector was a serious guy. We had the same prosecutor. Hector was a real tough guy growing up, and he's like how I am, hands-on, brutal, weapons and violent and all that stuff, and armed robberies and home invasions and all that stuff. He's like my kind of guy. That's who I would roll with, if I was in the street. Those kind of guys.
Did you know his ex-wife, Renee Graziano?
No, I didn't know her, but Ronnie used to date her when they were kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like Ronnie's first girlfriend.
What'd
Yeah.
you think? What'd you think of that show, The Mob Wives?
It's terrible. It's awful. Yeah. Guys were getting beat up in jail over it. They were telling one guy got put in a fucking coma and Ferritin over his girlfriend going on it.
Really? Who was his girlfriend?
And they beat him with weights, everything. I forgot which one it was, but they beat him up really bad. Yeah.
Wow. Unfucking believable. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. TG, Anthony Graziano.
Yeah, I met him one or two times with Vinny. They had to meet up before, and I got to meet him and stuff like that. But he had a good reputation. He was a consigliere, he was a captain. He ran Staten Island. Everybody knew that. He was an old timer. He passed away as well, and he was a serious. He was a real guy. I don't know if he was much of a murderer or anything like that, but he was. He was definitely a stand-up real guy.
All right. Joseph Lanny.
Joe Lonnie. He's a clown, bro. Fucking real estate broker, bro. I was selling houses, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro.
What is
he
the
sent
deal?
for me? He sent for me one time, bro. I swear to God, I told him to get lost. Like we were disrespect. Yeah, he's like, looking like a fucking joke. Yeah, we got it. Real estate broker by day, gangster by night. We Batman.
Didn't he got arrested recently, and didn't he try to like burn a? He bought like gasoline jugs and was trying to burn a restaurant.
Bro, I know guys that grew up with that dude, bro. That dude was a straight clown, bro. Seriously.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is he considered a boss or a made member?
No,
now,
he was an acting captain. That's all.
Really?
Yeah, he was acting skipper. He tried to send me over a drug deal. I told him to kick rocks.
All right. I don't know if you know this one, but he got arrested with Joseph. Diego Danny Tantillo.
No, I don't know what that is.
All right. Okay. Jeff Nadeau. Or not Nadeau.
Yeah, I like Jeff. We got along.
Yeah, he's been on my show.
I like Jeff.
Twice.
Me and Jeff are cool. Yeah, I like Jeff.
So do I. He's a good dude.
He's very good at what he does.
Oh, 100%. He's got his finger on the pulse big time.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
It was I grew up with a friend of mine, and then his father got arrested, and I'm like, well, this guy that I knew for years, his father was a gangster, really?
Right.
And I messaged him because he covered it, and I was like, he really is a gay. He goes, oh yeah, he was a skip. I'm like, really? I'm like,
which one was this? Who was this? Which one?
I'll just edit it out because I don't want to get him in trouble.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Did you know him or no?
Yeah, no, I heard of him.
Bill Stacks.
No, yeah, it's on site with him. I'll knock him out if I see him. Yeah, straight up. He's the only one. I don't care who knows. I'll take an assault for him.
What was the deal between you two? Because he also had a falling out with Anthony Russi.
Yeah, he just runs his mouth. Oh, he's a straight crackhead fiend from like fucking nowhere. He's like a homeless guy. He just runs his mouth like him. That's the only one that I'll punch in the face if I see him. I swear to you.
Yeah,
I'm assaulting him if I see him. I don't care who knows. I swear to God, I'll take the charge right there. I'm beating the shit out of him if I see him.
I don't. He was friends with Hootie, and then they had a falling out.
It's just known. Like I told him already. Like whenever. It's on site. I don't care.
And he was talking about you? What was he saying about you?
Yeah, he just don't stop. He's just pathetic, bro. He just don't stop. It's all he does is talk about me. He has nothing else to do. He's homeless, but he gets 3 views without me.
All right.
The
I don't
bum.
know. Phil Galena.
Yeah, that's the one I told you I had a lot of beef with him. Yeah, me and Chris had cracked the bottle over his head, and then he paid Albanians 20,000 to kill us, and then they shot into a car. Shot my friend through the neck, shot my other friend in the back, and then it was on from there. I terrorized them. I made them leave that neighborhood. They sold their house and left.
Really?
Oh, we made them sell their home. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
How did you, if you don't mind me asking, how'd you hit back?
Shot his house up with a machine gun. Went back there
Wow.
twice. Did that. Set his cars on fire. Threw a half a stick of dynamite in his pickup truck with his brother in it.
Wow.
I can keep going. Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Wow.
yeah,
Unreal, man.
yeah. Hmm.
Frankie Lino. Lino, yeah.
Yeah, Frankie Lino was a serious guy out of my family, a murderer. That's the one that the girl says that she was dating. That's the one the girl was dating from Get Gotti. She was a Frankie Lino. You know the
Ah,
girl from Get.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
was a
yeah.
serious guy. He was a
Okay.
murderer and did a lot of work. His brother's Eddie Lino. Brother was a serious guy from the
Okay.
Gambinos. He was killed by the cops.
Really?
For the Lucchese family. Remember the cops that were killing people for the mob. He played my Uncle Andy in Goodfellas. Louis Ippolito.
Ah, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Jimmy Calandra.
Yeah, he's all right. At first I really got along with him. He's just weird. There's something
Yeah.
mentally wrong with him. You
He
know what I
doesn't
mean?
seem to, he doesn't get along with John too well, from what I understand.
Yeah, he's cool. He's just something wrong with him. I don't know what it is. He's cool. I get along with him. He's just like a weird dude, honestly.
He grew up around the corner from me,
Yeah,
like,
he definitely was around guys that were serious. They were doing serious shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's just burnt out.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. He grew up in the same neighborhood as me, and
I met him. I met him in person a few times. We hung out, me, him, and Hootie a few times. He was all right. He just changed on me over Johnny.
yeah, 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 yeah. Dominic Sicali.
Yeah, me and Dom are buddies. Dom was a captain out of the Bronx. Dom's a serious guy. We ran with Vinny Gorgeous and them. Dom had a lot of money in the street, did work, killed a few people. I'm good friends with him to this day. We talk.
All right, cool. Joe Messino.
Yeah, fat scumbag. Yeah, I hate him. I fucking hate him. Killed people
Yeah,
for no reason, took their businesses. He's just a fuck. And then, goes and does that bullshit and sets the family back for like 20 years.
yeah. So if, for people who don't know, Joe Messino was the boss of the Banana crime family, and he actually was arrested and testified and gave away other people. I don't know.
He ordered the crimes. How the fuck you saying? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's
I don't.
crazy.
I don't understand. See, this is what I mean. Where there's no rhyme or reason to the feds or the cops. It's like you got the
Right.
big fish. You got the big
Right.
fish. So why do you?
They want to know where what all those bodies were and all those murders and who did them. They didn't care. At first, he was never supposed to get out after he cooperated. He's supposed to just cooperate so his family could keep their properties and homes.
Right.
Then they make him only do 10 years and get him out because he gave so much. This guy gave 22 murders. He gave everything. He testified against guys in the 60s. So biggest cooperator ever.
Okay. Yeah, unbelievable. All right. Vinny
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, he's a real guy. Vinny Gordon's a real guy, but now I heard he's hanging out with the Serenos in prison.
Who?
The Serenos. He's trying to become Mexican mafia, for what I was told.
Well, maybe you don't have a choice,
I don't know. Serious guy though, very serious, dangerous dude.
All right. Did you know him at all? Did you?
No, his son I know. I met up with his sons before and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. All
Hmm.
right. Michael Mancuso.
Yeah, that's the boss of the family after Vinny was sent to ADX. Another serious guy out the Bronx. He just came home. He's a real gangster. Same thing. Very close with the captain of our crew, Jerry Sarro. They were real tight. He was tight with that whole Bronx crew. They're serious guys. Hmm.
And he's still on the street. You think there's any changing
He's in
him,
right
or
now.
is he straight
He is
gangster?
not. He's in right now on a parole violation.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. So tell us about what you got happening in the future. You got a book series, you got a movie. Tell us about your podcast.
Yeah. So we rebooted the Johnny and Gene show. I had got kicked off because of probation and all that bullshit. But we rebooted that. Johnny's gonna be in a movie at what do you call that? Pony, and they wrote me in it. It's gonna be about race car drivers, two sisters, and fentanyl. Because Johnny lost his daughter to fentanyl. So
Yeah, that's a shame.
it's a real Hollywood film, and I can't say exactly what actress is gonna be in it, but I know it's big names, and they put me in it. They wrote me in a few things, and I'm happy about it. So I'll be in a real
So
film.
yeah, that's actually really cool. Unfortunately, movies aren't what they used to be when we were growing up.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
unbelievable. Like you used to go to the movies to see the latest movie. Now nobody gives a shit about movies at
Right.
all. You know, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. You know,
Yeah.
and they don't.
So
Go ahead.
it's just crazy that I'm actually just gonna be in something like that, just to be a
Oh,
part of that
absolutely.
from
Yeah.
our background, where we come from, and I think it's crazy that you even have that opportunity. And then, for my book to even be thought of to be a TV show, and now they're trying to make it into like a modern day Sopranos. It just bugs you out, to show how much people really are into this stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, people from all over love this stuff. I mean,
Love it. World,
these are
all over the world.
yeah. This is my highest videos. I mean, I've had guys that were ex Ku Klux Klansmen, ex
Every
Mongol.
time we go on it, we always be me.
Boom.
So I'm
It's
always one of the tops. It's crazy, and I think people like me because of my foul mouth and I say anything, and I was modern
exactly.
day.
Yeah.
I got no filter. What I'm saying. So people love that, and I don't sound scripted. I just keep it real. And I'm always top view on someone's show, if not number one. But
Yeah.
people just love this stuff.
Yeah. Do you I mean, I already know the answer, but I have to ask. Because of no filter and whatnot and the things you said, do you worry at all?
No,
I didn't
I'm a
think
hands on.
so.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't look for trouble, but I don't run from it. Like, you're not
Yeah.
gonna abuse me. Like, you got to be that guy to come up to me and abuse me because
Yeah.
it's just not gonna happen.
Right,
I'm
right,
very
right.
confrontational. I don't take bullshit. I'm cool as could be, but once you get serious with me, like, I didn't need the mafia to be a tough guy. I was always bad. You
Right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right, right,
They
right.
use me for violence. I didn't call them and say, "Hey, I want to apply for a job." You
Yeah,
know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, they recruited me because I was wild. You
Yeah.
know, it was like a farm system. I was running around doing crazy shit, so they grabbed me.
Yeah. If you grew up now, like let's say let's
I
say
would
it's
run shit. If I didn't go to jail and I was still out there in Howard Beach, bro, I would run everything. But these guys are all clowns out there right now. There's nobody out there.
yeah, 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 yeah,
You'd be
yeah.
like a shark in a fucking in a goldfish tank. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't even make sense.
So you think you would take the same route because this is who
Yeah,
you are, this is your DNA, except
yeah,
that you would be on
yeah.
top.
Absolutely. In this era, oh my God, they cannot handle someone like me in this era. These guys don't even hear about nothing going on no more. When we were
Yeah, I
kids, people
know.
getting shot, beat up, stabbed every day. It was like something
Yeah,
new. You didn't hear about
yeah,
a fist fight. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know how it was. Brooklyn, how crazy
yeah.
Brooklyn and Queens was, those tiny neighborhoods. It was brutal.
Yeah, it was really, and
Brutal.
what's funny is it wasn't just the gangsters. It was anybody, like like there were people on the
Anybody. It's just
block that were
completely, yeah.
fighting, and there were and
Now it's just gangs. That's the only thing bad
it's
now. It's just
kids
the
there. Yeah,
gangs.
right. The
Yeah, these
kid.
kids and their gangs, these Bronx kids, like something's in the
Yeah,
water over there, bro. I don't know what the fuck it is, man.
yeah, yeah. No, it's
Kids
true,
just,
but
yeah.
it's funny because the neighborhoods we grew up in, and it's just I sometimes you can't get it out of you. Now I know you are completely different, but what I'm trying to say is like these young kids, they're kind of all into their emotions.
And they're
And
killing over nothing. They're shooting over nothing. It's absolutely
okay,
nothing.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
even beef. It's
yeah,
completely nothing.
yeah. It's like just
I was just locked up with all them in MDC Brooklyn. They're fucking wild as shit. These kids are
yeah,
bad. They're fucking shooting and killing each other over nothing. Over rap songs and crazy shit.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. So, did you follow rap music growing up?
Yeah, absolutely. Big
Yeah.
time.
What do you think of the music today as compared to back then?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like songs now, but 90s rappers, we just had Cuban Link on our show. So we were just talking,
Ah,
Cuban Link is a great artist. And we were talking about how 90s was the golden era for music, you know what I'm
it
saying, in
was,
general.
and it wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't even just rap music, but
right.
today's music is fucking awful. It's just
Awful.
awful.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you ever, and to prove our point, if you ever watch reaction videos where they get Gen Z and they give them music from the 80s and 90s and you see their reaction.
You hear the girls' music now, they rap about the things they're talking about. It's insane. How you even
Oh,
let your kids listen to it? It's about being a hoe and sucking
yeah.
dick, and it's crazy.
Dude, it's not even just girls on rapping. It's like you see these girls on podcasts and interviews, and they have no.
It's sick.
There was a girl on a podcast. I don't know if you saw this. If I find it, I'll email it to you. But this girl basically told a story about how she took an Uber and the guy was hot and she had sex with the guy in the Uber, and she said that she was terrible in bed in the car, I guess. And she got out. The guy charged her. She called another Uber and blew the guy for the ride on the Uber. And she's talking about this like nothing, like it's fine, like no big deal. And it's like, yeah,
It's weird now.
It's unfucking
It's
believable.
disgusting almost, bro.
It really is.
Yeah,
I have three friends at work that are divorced and went to the Philippines because they wanted to remarry and have kids,
right.
and they because they're like American girls, forget it.
It's
It's
bad.
just
It's so bad. Florida's bad.
fucking.
I was just talking about that sugar baby central. It's crazy.
Oh, I can only imagine, man. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
it's horrible.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's unfortunate, but all right. Gene, I just want to thank you for coming on, man. I truly
Absolutely,
appreciate
man.
it. And I love your
Yeah,
content. I follow you on TikTok and on Instagram, and
yeah,
it's always entertaining. So
yeah. Absolutely, man.
truly appreciate it. I got to get John on. I've
I'll get
been,
him. Yeah, let me know when you want. I'll get him on.
all right. Yeah, I'll definitely come. Well, the girl that I got through from you, I
Yeah,
think worked on.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, thank you very much for coming on, man. It was a real pleasure. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, buddy.
All right. Much respect, brother. Talk to you
Take
soon.
care, man. All
All
right.
right. Later.
Bye.